The state is requesting a final order. As a bit of background, so yes, besides the recent order, the last order in this case was a second further temporary order establishing parent-child relationship. Essentially, Your Honor, established the parent-child relationship. There was no change in the last name of the child. The parents were appointed joint managing conservators, with Ms. Yeboah given the right to establish where the child lives. Um, there was app close ordered. Mr. Asari got electronic communication at 6 p.m. Central Time every Sunday for up to 30 minutes after providing notice. There was current child support. Current child support of $524 each month beginning the first day of October 2024. There was cash dental support of $12 per month beginning first day of October 2024. There was cash medical support of $178 per month beginning the first day of October 2024. As a child has been on Miss Yoboa's health and dental insurance at those amounts of cost. Uh, Court cost was not addressed, and neither was any retroactive support. The court did do instead of a same possession order, did do a modified possession access order. Especially considering, as far as the state understands, Mr. Assari lives in New York City, the Bronx area. Miss Yeboah lives in Texas here. The only thing that was not addressed in the visitation was what airport Mr. Assari should use. Um, uh, and so, Your Honor, the state would like the court to make appropriate rulings regarding the court cost and the airport. The state has no interest in either of those topics. But to finalize the order, the state would like the court to address those. As for retroactive support, Your Honor, the state is not asking for retroactive medical or dental support, solely retroactive child support. The timeline, Your Honor, that the state would like is September 5th, 2020 to September 2024, with current support having started on October 1st, 2024. During that time, Your Honor, the state understands that Mr. Assari was in Africa from essentially 2019 to October 2022, in which case you said to use minimum wage. And then he said he also was in Virginia from November 2022 to April 2024. And then the rest of the time he's been in the Bronx. So the state has calculated retroactive child support based on all that, giving him credit for income tax. Although the state has no records of if he's actually, filed anything, the state has given him credit for that. The amount of retroactive child support would then be $12,108 with a repayment that the state would advise of $111 per month. And that could start April 1st, 2025. There is one thing the state understands that Mr. Sari may have a child outside of this case besides the child in. So the state, when it's calculated retro, didn't know when that child was born. So assume that the child was born before the 2020, and so gave him, the one in, one out for all of it. But I expect to, be able to get through testimony to see if that is the case. And the current child support was based off of one in, zero out. So the state is willing to give him a credit if he does have an outside child. And that new amount would be instead of 524, it would be 458. And we can start that on the 1st of April 2025 as well. Um, and also, Your Honor, the court had asked because Mr. Sari claims to have a disability, medical issue. So The court had asked him to basically, notify us if he intends to call a doctor to testify for him. Um, he did send us an email by the deadline that's in the order, uh, but I can't discuss it in depth, Your Honor, because I would need to have Mr. Asari's permission. But I can say for sure that it does not include a doctor that he would like to testify for him.
All right, and of course you can ask me about any disability findings by either the state of New York, the state of Virginia, which I think he was going to move to, if he's going to move back to Virginia, or the United States, or the federal disability criteria have been met. So, yeah, I'll ask you to ask questions along those lines, and we'll make determination on what we need to do here. But this time, I understand the opening, and I need to go ahead and ask both parties to raise your right hands, and let's get some testimony, guys. At this time, do both of you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you're going to give here today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you?
Yes, sir.
All right, you're both under oath. The state's going to call you as individual witnesses. And again, Mr. Asari, we need to know where you have finally landed and whether or not you're still in NY or VA. All right, thank you. You may proceed at this time, Mr. Welch.
Thank you, Your Honor. State calls Felicia Yoboa. What's your full name?
Felicia Yeboah.
What is the full name of the child in this case?
Russell Everett Clark.
When was Russell born?
September 11, 2019.
So how old is he?
He will turn 6 this September.
So could you hear? Oh, thank you, ma'am. Could you hear my opening statement?
Yes, I did.
Do you agree or disagree that it's accurate?
Yes, it's accurate. I didn't know where he was, but based on what he was saying, everything is accurate.
All right. And do you agree to finalize temporary order, that second further temporary order, as is, except for, of course, adding in about the airports, the retroactive child support, and then the court cost?
So as I said in our last court session, I think that should be up to him, however he gets here. My only concern is if he wants to see his son, he can get here and see his son. So I don't mind whatever airport he goes to.
And so, but besides that airport, are you okay with finalizing the temporary order we did as is,
Yes,
except for the
yes.
court costs and retro?
Yes, I do.
All right. So, do you agree to retroactive child support of $12,000, $12,108 total?
Yes, sir.
Do you agree to Mr. Assari repaying that of $111 per month starting April 1st, 2025?
Yes, I do.
And do you know if Mr. Assari has any children outside of Russell?
I just found out with our last court session.
And so if Mr. Assari does say that he does have a child outside that's biologically his or that he adopted, would you be okay with giving him a credit for his current child support?
Yes, definitely.
And also, do you understand that the retroactive child support is based off of him having that outside child throughout it all?
Can you explain it a little bit? Like that can be taken off since he had a child?
Your Honor, do you want me to briefly explain?
Go right ahead, please. Yeah.
So Ms. Yeboah,
Mhm.
retroactive child support is based off of how much child support he should owe during that time.
Oh, okay.
So basically, just like current support, if he does have a child outside this case,
Mm-hmm.
he should get a credit. If he had one back during that time period, he should also get a credit.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that would be perfect with me. I agree with that. He can get the credit.
And I'm not sure if I mentioned this in my opening. But do you also understand that that retroactive child support is based off of minimum wage, but different minimum wages depending on where he was at?
Yes, yes, sir.
All right. And if Mr. Asari does have that outside child, do you agree to the current child support being instead of 524, 458 starting first day of April 2025?
Yes, yes, sir.
Do you have anything else you would like to tell the court?
I have a question for the court. To ask a question. Is all the child support, like child support money, is it, I don't know how to put it. Do I have a say in whatever amounts he's paying?
All right, here's the deal, ma'am. Under the law, the court's going to order a certain amount, and if he fails to pay that, then he's in violation of the court order. If he pays it, he's in compliance with the court order. And
Okay,
but for right now, like I say, this is a Texas order, and then there has to be an enforcement done wherever he lives going forward, New York or Virginia. You may have to get the Attorney General's office to see about that. But for right now, we give all non-custodial parties the opportunity to pay and pay timely before we do it, before there's any type of retribution.
so I want him to understand it in court today. So whatever I say regarding how much he's supposed to pay doesn't have an effect. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, ma'am.
Right,
It's a
okay,
mathematical
so I
formula.
can. Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay. Well, I mean, we always have the right to put some input if there's a special need circumstance or something like that. We would need to for you to testify to that. But otherwise, the court would be looking at what the law requires me to do.
Okay, so I can testify since he has a child, previous child, I can, if my view is being considered, I can let go of the retroactive child support and start with the child support itself.
Well, I'll let the state go into that, ma'am, but I'll still have to make a finding that it's in your child's best interest that I do so. And
Okay,
I don't mind. And the state's already taken into consideration what child support would have been with that child included. So the amount that
yes,
the state's doing is the amount that he would have been ordered to pay if we'd known about the child from day one and we'd had an order from day one.
day one, okay. All right, okay, thank you, Your Honor.
No problem. All right, next question, Mr. Welch.
Thank you, Your Honor. I guess I should ask, are you aware of Mr. Asari having any kind of disability?
No, sir. I just recently learned that he was sick. It didn't say he was disabled. It just said he was sick. He had a heart disease.
Where did you learn this from?
From court, and then his sister called me. That's from a third party.
Pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Be back in just a moment. I'll let the state call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. State calls Nana Ki Asari.
Nana Ki Asari, that's my name, please.
Apologies, sir. So what? I guess you already said it. I guess to start off with, could you hear my opening statement?
Yeah, I could hear you clearly now. Now I want to talk. I understand you perfectly.
All right, sir. So basically, sir, besides the court costs, adding in the court costs, the retroactive support, and in the airport that you do use, along with the current support, we'll get to that. Are you fine with the second further temporary order as it is right now?
The amount, what I'm having a problem with because of the state that was used. When I look at it, New York State was used. But in actuality, New York State is where I received treatment, medical treatment, and my correspondences. I have family here, but doesn't mean I stay in New York permanently. As I'm talking in New York, in about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going for heart surgery. So that's why I'm here. but I don't stay here. After I had surgery, I don't think I'll be in Virginia again. I was going to do the surgery in Virginia, but I'll do it in New York. I'll move to Pennsylvania, but that's where the cost of healthcare and living is much lower. But when I look at the calculation, New York State was used. So that's
Here's
my
the deal,
problem.
sir. Stop. Here's the deal, sir. Right now, every time we do a court hearing, we take a snapshot of where you are at the time, sir. And for the last few hearings, you have been in New York, correct?
Yes, I've been in New York. I've been in Virginia. I'm back to New York for surgery.
Okay. All right. But I'll go ahead and let the state go through the question of asking you the different places you've lived over the and what the time frames were. But don't you just need to listen to the question, answer the question, and don't go off on tangents. Just answer the questions that's asked at the time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, wonderful.
All right, sir. So let's start with the retroactive child support timeline. All right, from September 5th, 2020 to September 2024. Is it accurate that you were in Africa from the beginning of that timeline to October 2022?
I was in Africa from the end of when she gave birth. That's about 4 months, and to September 2022.
So it's September. So all right. So the beginning is September 5th, 2020. So you were in Africa from September 5th, 2020 to wait, so could you explain that again, sir?
I was in Africa in 2020, early 2020, when she gave birth, when my child was born, to 2022.
All right, and when in 2022 did you get back?
That was in September, October there. That's what I remember.
All right, and then from November 2022 through April 2024, were you in Virginia?
I was fully in Virginia, receiving treatment of the leg. That's
all right, got it, sir. Got it, sir.
Okay.
Like we'll talk about. I promise. We'll talk about your what you claim to be your disability.
Okay.
At a time, but I want to just know the timeline right now. And then from April 2024, I guess actually from May 2024 onward, you've been in New York City, the Bronx.
I've been in New York City, the Bronx. I've been in New York City, the Bronx, but I do travel. Okay, I'll say that way so that I can explain later. Yeah.
All right, sir. So now let's talk about your disability. Has the federal government ever said that you are disabled?
Never.
What about the state of New York?
No.
And what about the state of Virginia?
No, not at all.
So, please explain to the court why you say you are disabled.
Currently, I have a problem with my left ventricle, where the blood is pumped to all the side of the body when the blood enters the right auricle. So the left ventricle, the space is very small. It can't pump blood. So all the blood infused in my body ends up in my legs. So my legs, as I'm talking to you, my legs are swollen like my thighs. And he noticed, Miss Yeboah have seen it before, and asked me when I was there in 2022. My legs were very swollen. Since that time, it has been there for a long time, but It became serious. That was in August 2024. Serious. I was in the hospital for close to 2 weeks. That was when I actually found out that this was my condition. At first, I didn't know my condition because I went to Africa because of this condition. Because when I was in America, they were giving me pills. The pills were becoming too much.
Sir, I'm gonna stop you. You're going way past the
Okay.
question.
Okay.
Here's the deal, sir. Do you have any medical evidence from that can be presented that's legal evidence in a court of law that a physician or a government has found you to be disabled, sir? By their
No, not at all.
definition. Have you? I'm sorry. Could you repeat that, sir?
Not at all, Donna.
Okay. All right. The next question then, Mr. Welch. Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor. So do you have any children outside of Russell?
I have one. I have one. I think a year and a half. Russell's a year and a half older.
A year and a half old. So
Yeah,
when was
older? He said. I'm sorry. He said older than.
Russell is older. Russell's my eldest.
Oh, Russell's the eldest. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right. So when was this? When was this other child born?
That's November 2020.
All right. So November 2020. All right, Your Honor, there will be a slight change, but it's only for a couple months. It'll take me but I can change it at the end, Your Honor.
Okay. We're going to look at a couple of months there. Yeah. No, I'll let you do that.
Yeah, Your Honor, we don't even count September anyway, so it'd only be October and November. Well, it would only be October, I guess, and possibly November that he would even change. So, all right, sir. Now, besides that minor change we'll make to your retro, in general, the $12,108 that I calculated for your retroactive child support, do you agree or disagree?
I agree.
All right. And do you agree to a repayment on that of $111 per month starting April 1st, 2025?
I don't agree to that.
Why don't you?
The concurrent nature of the payment.
All right. So, what airport would you like? So, I guess first of all, when are you going to leave to go to Virginia?
Since the surgery will be done in New York, I won't go to Virginia, but I'll go to Pennsylvania after the surgery.
All right. So,
Pennsylvania is about 2 hours from here.
So, have you been exercising any visitation, physical visitation with the child?
I've seen a child. What child are you talking about, please? Are you talking about Russell?
Wait. What? Apologies, sir. Can you say that again?
Are you talking about? It's Russell, right?
I'm talking about Russell. Yes.
I've seen Russell twice. Ever since I left Texas, I've seen him twice.
So, what airport have you been using to get to presumably Texas?
I don't normally use airports. I use a bus.
All right. What is the closest airport to you?
As I'm talking to you, we have LaGuardia, we have JFK, and we have an airport in New Jersey and Virginia. There are 4 exclusive.
All right. Are there any other airports around you?
Gettysburg, JFK, and LaGuardia, the big 3.
All right.
I mispronounced that middle one, but the one over in New Jersey. There's 2 in New York, and there's one right there across the river in New Jersey.
We have another in New Jersey. That's what the one I'm talking about. The EWR in New Jersey.
So would you prefer to take a bus or fly down to exercise your visitation?
Sincerely, I want to take a bus because I don't like flying. I fly in difficult times. I don't like flying at all.
All right. And so do you agree to current child support being changed from the temporary order of 524 down to 458 to give you credit for your other child?
No.
All right, let's move on.
Yes, Your Honor. Have you ever been a like a firefighter or a police officer or in some field like that before?
No.
Pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, sir. When are you going to be able to travel? What's your prognosis on being able to travel after you finish all your medical procedures?
Can you come again, Your Honor?
I'm sorry.
Can you come again? So a little bit
Yeah,
faster.
you still haven't finished all your medical procedures. Is that correct, sir?
Not at all, Your Honor. Next
Okay.
week I have 3 days of surgery. So
Okay. How soon before everything is well that they think you're going to be well enough to travel as far as coming to Texas to visit your child, sir? That's what I'm asking.
I don't really know now, Your Honor, because after the surgery, I'll take time to recoup. And when I'm okay, I'm healed. I can do that. I can go to Texas. Really, I'm healed. I can go to Texas. It happens.
Okay. Have you been doing any of your electronic visits, sir?
I called him. I talked to him. I talked to my son.
Okay.
After
When's the last time you did that?
last month I did that.
Okay.
And this month I'll do it.
All right. And sir, right now you're still in New York. Do you have any plans to permanently move back to Virginia? And if you do, when?
Your Honor, I will know Virginia is a place where it's my second hospital place. But if the surgery is done, it means that I'll be committing to the New York doctors. I'll commit to them. I'll come for.
Yes, sir. I got that
Check
part
up,
already.
yeah.
But how long have you been living in New York right now, sir?
I will say, I won't say I live in New York. I come to New York. That's how I'll say it. I come to New York 3 months, sometimes 2 months, and I go back to Virginia 2 months. But now, after surgery, I need to settle. For the past 5 years now, Your Honor, because of this condition, I've not settled.
Okay. When's the last
But
time you
after
were in
surgery,
Virginia, sir?
Pardon, please.
When's the last time you were in Virginia?
The last time I was in Virginia was in 2024.
And when was that, sir?
2024, I was there. That was April there when I came back. And I remember I went again. That was this very year. I've been to Virginia to see my doctor. I spent about 3 days. I didn't take long.
All right, so sir, the last month you were in Virginia, when's the last time you were in Virginia for longer than 6 months, sir?
That was 2023. That was when I was being treated for the edema of the leg.
Okay. And your treatments are always either have been in New York, sir?
I would say the majority of the edema treatment have been in Virginia. But the cardio problem is New York.
All right, sir. And right now you're not getting disability from anyone, New York, Virginia,
Not at all. Not at all. The letter that I get from friends and family, and that's all.
I'm sorry, repeat that, sir.
Not at all. I don't have any money from the States, no.
And when's the last time you had a full-time job, sir?
That was in 2018.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Welch, any other questions of this witness?
Your Honor, I did recalculate the retro, Your Honor. It's not very different. It's now $12,166, instead of 12,108.
Okay. Yeah, that's not any difference at all.
So I think that's it, Your Honor. Pass the witness.
All right, I'll start. Any other witnesses you wish to call at this time, Mr. Welch?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm gonna start with you, sir. Is there anything else you think I need to know, Mr. Asari?
Yeah, Your Honor, since the beginning of this proceedings, a picture has been created as somebody who came to your state, Texas, to impregnate a young lady and left after she gave birth. No, that's not the picture that's supposed to be created, and I have to explain it later. Miss Yeboah is a very, very disciplined lady. She's a good woman. But when I came to Texas, we had plans of settling down. But she gave birth, she got pregnant very early in my stay in Texas, and along the line, it was like we were not compatible. Not very compatible. So
Okay, sir, that didn't have anything to do with this is not a divorce. This is just the court setting up visitation and child support and back child support going forward. Your compatibility, your relationship, that's not a factor in this one, sir.
Your Honor, I understand that, but that's a picture that's being clear. But okay, fine. But what I'm saying is, if I guess how should look at a New York calculation, the calculation that was used,
Oh.
That's the problem because.
Well, here's the deal, sir. There's only $4 an hour difference between New York and Virginia. New York right now is at $16 an hour and some change. Virginia is at $12 an hour and some change. So it's not going to be a big difference here. It may go down by 25%, but no matter which one I use, sir, if it goes down by 25%, then you're looking at 9,000 and some change out of Virginia. In New York, you're looking at 12,000 and some change. So that's just the way it rolls, sir.
Your Honor, I'm not going to go to Virginia again after the surgery.
Okay.
And where I'm staying in New York, I can't stay there again. It's just somebody, a family who helped me. So after surgery, I'll move to Pennsylvania. I have to settle in Pennsylvania finally. And
right now, sir, you haven't been in Pennsylvania. Right now, the child support going forward has to be based on New York. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the retroactive child support, sir. Because New York is where
if I move,
and that's what
if I move to Pennsylvania, okay. If I move to Pennsylvania, Your Honor, right after that was going to be in March, April. If I move there, how will I modify it? Should I give it to the state or I don't? Because I'll stay in Pennsylvania and get treatment in Pennsylvania and work in Pennsylvania. So how am I going to do the modification?
I can't give you legal advice, sir. You would have to seek your own legal counsel, and obviously your legal counsel still would have to be in Texas, and that's only going to come into play after you've lived and can prove you live somewhere else other than New York for 6 whole months, sir.
Okay, Your Honor. All right. Okay, no problem. No problem with that at all.
All right. Thank you. All right. Mr. Barr, anything else from you, ma'am?
No, sir. No, Your Honor. I just we had discussion. This is not with the court, but I got calls about me letting the court know to cancel some of the money. So I wanted to make it clear to him that I don't have no say. This is the state versus him.
Somebody's been contacting you and trying to talk you into to releasing funds that you're legally entitled to?
They think I have the power to reduce the amount he's supposed to pay for child support.
No,
But
you don't
I've
have
been
that power.
letting
I've
them
got that
know
power.
that is not up to me. That's up to the states. It's not mine.
Yes, ma'am.
So I wanted him to understand that it's not,
And I'll
I
let him
have
know.
nothing to do with it.
And here's the deal, ma'am. If he or anybody else has been interfering with this matter, then they're not supposed to do that either. Third parties in his behalf or him, they that's not appropriate, ma'am, at all. Okay. But as
Yes,
far as what we're doing here today, ma'am, I'm looking at going ahead and order the child support. I got to base it on NY because that's where he is. I got to go ahead and set up a retroactive amount in repayment. Do you have any other input on that, ma'am?
No, sir.
I'm also looking at going ahead and setting up a visitation package. Right now, I'm looking at setting up the electronics. But if he actually wants to come to Texas, I will come up with a schedule that he has to give you so many weeks notice in advance, and it's usually somewhere between 2 and 4 weeks that he's going to be coming to Texas. What his itinerary is going to be, and then I could set up what your visitation package will be on that. And I've already got one, but it's really based on airports. But he doesn't like flying, so he's going to have to take that bus ride from wherever he is on the Eastern Seaboard and come to Texas, which is going to be a 3-day ride. If it's a minute, it's going to be a 5-day.
2 day, right? 2 days.
So, yeah.
I think it's 2 days.
3 days. So yeah, it is what it is. But sir, I'll have I have a standard setup where you have to give her so many days advance notice, so many weeks advance notice that you're coming down. And you need to make those, if you're going to do them during the school year, you need to make them around weekends because the child's obviously going to be in school. He's school age now, and you'll have to, and the visitation package will be based on that as far as your time in Texas. And you'll have to complete all those, or you have to, if you have to complete some of those before I'll look at start doing long distance visitation. In other words, allowing him to come wherever you are. But right now, since you're not going back to Virginia, you're currently in New York. You're talking about moving to Pennsylvania, which is just obviously a little not too far from New York. But for right now, the only thing I do is set up some visitation in Texas until further order of the court. And then once you get it settled, then you can come back and with legal counsel or with the state, update your child support and update your visitation package.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions of either of these witnesses, Mr. Welch?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right, then, Mr. Welch, you have any of the hearings tomorrow?
Yeah, the fact that Your Honor, I want to say something else. I forgot something.
So I don't, Your Honor.
I'm sorry. I'm asking the question of the Attorney General right now. Yes, sir, Mr. Welch. Okay. You got any ones tomorrow? I
do not, Your Honor, but my colleagues do.
Well, I know it's good. I'm looking for the Zoom ones tomorrow afternoon. The live one I don't expect the okay. All right. Anyway, I'll come up with getting you the package. Again, my package is always based on airlines, so I'll have to tweak this and get it to you on what we're going to do as far as visitation on if he comes down by, or however he comes down. I'll tweak it not just to say airports or flying. I'll tweak it to say travel, and I'll get, and it shouldn't take me long to do that. But what else do you have, sir?
I was a student, and I was in the university. I'm working on a degree, chemistry degree now. And because of my condition, I'm on forbearance based on the money I earned. So if I get here and begin to take a job, I'm only to be paying my student loans too. So that's one thing I want the court to know.
Right now, the only thing we do is take a snapshot in time, and next time we come before court, we will look at your circumstances, whether or not you're unemployed, employed, whatever the math is on those circumstances, sir. That's what we'll figure out. Right now, we're basing everything on your state's minimum wage. If you get a job, then obviously we'll take into consideration what your actual earnings are, sir.
Okay.
All right. All right, then. Anything else, Mr. Welch?
So Your Honor, I have so if you're for the current child support, if you're going to change that to minimum wage, I have calculated minimum wage for New York. Would you like that number, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
It is $356,
Okay.
and that's giving him credit for state and local taxes as
All
well.
right. And the cash medical will become what?
Well, give me a second, Your Honor.
No,
It should. I mean, it's from mom, so it shouldn't.
it shouldn't change that much, I know, but still, I want to make sure.
Actually, Your Honor, it shouldn't. So, Your Honor, even if we base his gross monthly income off of New York minimum wage, it's still 9% of that, and the 1%, 1.5% still
Okay.
works out for health and dental, so it should still be the same repayments.
Okay. All right. Health and dental is the same. Child support is now 356, and that's the amount I'm going to order going forward. And in the retro, with the new retro amount with the other child included for those months is 12,166. He said he was okay with the old amount, but I'll go ahead and update that, and then order repayment of that 50 plus interest. So that's well, I'll just keep it at 100 even. It's a little bit less than 50 plus interest, but I'll take care of that. Will that's the circumstance that we'll deal with because of his current circumstances. And I will send over the package as far as taking out the travel. Well, obviously the travel stuff is when he actually has to pay and mom has to pay for the child's ticket. I'm gonna go. I've got a separate one. The break-in visits I always use to get before they get to travel. I'm gonna go ahead and tweak that to be his visits if he gives mom at least 14 days advance notice. And let me write it down. I'm going to wait 14 days advance notice that he's coming down, and they are to set up the visitation as per my break-in package, and I'm going to do it over. And sir, any type of visitation, you need to be here at least 3 days, because I'm going to start out with visitation with mom being there with you and the child, and it'll end up at the end of 3 days for you having several hours alone with to be able to take the child off and go somewhere with the child. But you have to go work your way into that. And you need to do so many electronic visits so the child knows that you really knows who you are.
Okay.
And
All
Your
right.
Honor,
Yes,
I
sir.
should. Oh, apologies, Your Honor. I just wanted to note for the court that you do have a visitation package for them that does 3 days with 14 days notice. It does.
Okay. But that was just a temporary one, right?
Oh, correct, Your Honor.
All right, then that's gonna be the permanent one until further order. Then I'll double check it to make sure it's the one I want. Cause it's in that second order, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll double check it. Yeah, I'll make sure. But 14 days advance notice, and obviously it doesn't say a thing about airline travel, correct?
It does.
Oh, it does. Okay.
I mean, it's more. It does. The only time it mentions airline is that he needs to pay the cost of all long distance travel expenses, including cost of airline tickets.
Okay, well, I'll leave that part in there, because if he decides, yeah, I don't want to be on the bus 3 days and I can get a cheap flight to Texas, I might want to do that. So yeah, I'll just yeah. So yeah, but I'll go ahead and tweak that, because if that one actually says he gets to take the child off at the end of the visitation, then since this is going to be a while, I'm gonna probably just make that he has to do all his visitation in Texas going forward until further order. But I'll double check it, sir, and get back with you. All right. Anything else, Mr. Welch?
I wanted to know for the court, just to clear up something. So would I change the retro? The only thing I did, Your Honor, since the child was born, I had already given Mr. Asari credit for the other child for the entire period. The only thing I changed, Your Honor, was that since October and November the child wasn't born yet, I
Right.
just removed it from those 2 months.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I got that. It was only 2 months difference. Yeah, I understood.
And then court costs, Your Honor.
All right, then I'm going to go ahead and waive court calls for Mr. Asari on this one, okay?
Okay.
I'll let him get his ducks in a row.
I think that's it, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right then, folks, I'm gonna go ahead and go back over the temporary order and tweak anything I think is necessary in that visitation package. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and set up the child support, the retro, and the repayment, as said earlier. You're gonna cash medical and dental are the same as was requested, and I am so ordering. All those start the first day of April 2025, and the repayment on the retro child support and there's no retro cash medical and no retro dental, but the retro repayment on the child support is $100 a month. That also starts the first day of April. I'm not ordering. I'm waiving court costs, and I'll and the rest of the order as is. So, and again, I'll go ahead and check what I put in the temporary orders for as a visitation and see if there's anything I need to take out or add to make it a little bit more clear. But again, sir, if you're going to come visit your child in Texas, you got to let mom know at least 14 days in advance. Did I put them on app close, Mr. Welch, or are they doing what they normally do?
They're on app close, Your Honor.
App close.
Okay, I'm gonna keep y'all on app close. All right, no problem. All right, folks, and like I said, waiving court calls to Mr. Assari. All right, folks, I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at this order. I'll get that information out to you, Mr. Welch, as soon as possible. And if there's nothing else, we're off the record.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I have a quick question, Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
All communication has to go through app close, right? Or we can do it any other way.
Y'all can unofficially, y'all can use it any other way y'all want, ma'am. I mean, that's what the top.
Okay.
Everything concerning child visitation, anything like that, that has to go through app close, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you both very much, folks. Good luck to both of you. All right, thank you very much, and we're off the record, guys. Are the parties free to go, Mr. Welch? Well, if I can get my mouse to work.
Yes, Your Honor. And Ms. Yeboah, Mr. Assari, just like last time, once the judge gets back to me, I'll send a DocuSign order for y'all to sign. Once, yeah.
Yeah, let me ask a question now.
All right, we're off the record, sir. Mr. Sorry, we're sorry. We're through. I'm sorry, sir. This can go on forever.
I remember something, please.
So, anyway, I'm off the record, sir, and I'm into this. Thank you. Sorry. All right, everybody's free to go.